UBT's Action Line Podcast is a production of UBT Media. You're on the United by Trucks Action Line Podcast. I'm your host, Robbie Purser. In this podcast, we dive deep with those who share a love for classic trucks and like to have some good old-fashioned automotive fun, telling stories, truths, and maybe even a few exaggerated tales. Brought to you by Tinworks Fabrication. This special new series called Off the Rails is our place for shenanigans, where we chat with all the characters and personalities. We've shared classic truck road trips, builds, and plenty of times, good and bad. Folks, have we got a show for you today? The two OGs of United by Trucks world, the two guys that were the first to ever go on camera with me, burn up the roads and classics across this country, and turn wrenches on all kinds of builds over the years. Ron Folks, better known as Two Trucks Ron, and Mr. SQRBDY himself, Rick Cheeseman. We're getting into all the behind-the-scenes tomfoolery in this one, so grab a cold drink, buckle up, and get ready for the ride that is Action Line's Off the Rails series, brought to you by Tinworks Fabrication. And as a reminder, our main interview show lands every other Monday, and the Off the Rails series will be monthly right here on the new UBT Action Line podcast channel. So be sure to subscribe and tell a friend. And be sure to stick around for the Ask the Crew segment, where we get into the nitty-gritty of you, the audience's submitted questions. You too can submit your question for the Ask the Crew segment at ubtaskthecrew@gmail.com. Now, let's get into it.
I was looking forward to hanging out with Rocky again. I haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't seen
I
Rocky
know,
in a hot
man.
minute.
I saw him at the last.
Does he have like
the
some
last
work crap
pop-up.
going on or something?
It was the last time I seen him. It was the last pop-up.
Oh, really? He texted me this afternoon and was like, hey, man, I'm just not going to be able to make it. I got some work stuff going on. So we're missing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to pull the plug on this thing. We already had it baked, and so we'll have him back to do another one. This is going to be a monthly thing that we do, and this is a new series in the podcast called Off the Rails. And so it won't just be, so the regular podcast will be more of an interview style with me and another guest, and then this will be us. So it won't all, I mean, if you can't come every month, fine, but it'll be just kind of a revolving door of the folks who have been sort of on the behind the scenes, on the road trips, helping make this content for all these years.
I'm down.
And so we'll do this once a month. Tinworks has come on board to help us kind of make this thing happen. I had to buy some more mics, more mic stands, more equipment to make this thing happen. So big shout out to Tinworks for helping us with this. But yeah, this is going to be UBT's Action Line Off the Rails series. So be once a month.
You off the rail?
Off the rails, man.
I'm always off the rail, man. I'm always looking for an excuse to leave work too. So
Yeah, for real. Well, that's why we're kicking it off like this. We got the homies in here.
Yeah. That picture though, it looks just like, if you're sorry.
No, it's okay.
If you're coming out at 20 and you get off the Bremen exit and go to Cedartown,
Yeah.
there on the right hand side, there's a truck. It looks similar to that with trees growing out of it.
I don't know if I've seen that.
And I think it's a GMC.
That's at Car City in Cartersville.
Okay.
I think is what it's called.
Oh,
the one where you
place
can
that-
pay $20
Yeah, I've
and
always
go
wanted to
walk
check that
through.
out. You ever been there?
No, never been there. I bought this at the Arts Festival.
How
on the
far is
square.
that place?
Cartersville. So, well, I think maybe it's white, but probably 40 minutes.
Man, we
It'd
should
be
do a
something we
cruise there.
should go do a cruise there and go walk through it.
Yeah.
All you can do is take pictures. You can't buy anything out of there or anything
Yeah.
like that. So you pay like $20 to walk
Well, next
through.
time if you go out there to Cedartown, I'm going out there Wednesday to get shirts. I'll try and take a picture of the video when I drive by it, because it looks very similar.
Very cool, man. I've never noticed it.
It's right on the right hand side on the edge of the what's that road?
27.
Yeah.
Yeah. 27 going into town
Yeah,
from Bremen.
Yeah. Anyways,
Ron, give me a one more check. I just want to make sure I got you here.
check.
he's leads in every time. He's like,
All right, I think we're all
Like
we're
a
all in.
duck.
here.
Avery asked me when I picked her up from school. She's like, "Are you nervous?" I was like, "Actually, yeah." She's like, "Really?" I was like, "Well, the camera doesn't bother me. The headphones and the mic, that's like it's just
a
a
different
new
game.
dynamic."
Yeah.
It's,
But I gotta tell you, at least in my ears, you guys sound great. I mean, like, and you look like you know what you're doing. That's half the battle.
bro, I've been faking it for a long time.
That's right.
"Make it till you
How do
make
you
it."
think
Fake it till you make it.
How do you think I got hired?
Yeah, for real. Rick, will you pull that towards your mouth just a little bit more? Like, just take there you go.
Right there, is that good?
That should be good. So I wanted to kick this off with just how we all Actually, I don't want to start there. I want to kick it off with like what we've been up to, what y'all been up to. Ron, I'm gonna kick it to you. What you been up to, man? What projects you been working on? Like, what's been going on, man?
Man, just kid stuff. Been working on the blue truck. So we dug the 70 out of the stash. That's what we like to call it out there at the old shop.
Yep.
It's super, super low now. It's like almost a 7.9 static drop.
Yeah.
I've got real deal 3-piece BBSs going on it. It's got a bunch of Tinworks stuff in the back end, so it's got an LS for it, 4L80.
Yeah.
Big cam kit. So
remind everybody what the truck is. So it's a 70, and it's like what's the body and bed and all that stuff.
What when you were talking about I think the podcast with Josh, GMC Paul's, so I actually watched that at work, and I texted you, and I took the VIN number of the truck and looked it up. So it was built in Baltimore. It's a GMC. It's a factory V8 truck, dual trim truck, super high option, AC cab, like
super high option.
So I just went all through it, all just because of where you had it, where you're like GMC Paul's. I just logged on. I was like, I want to know about mine. So I learned something new from it.
It's short bed, fleet side.
Short bed, fleet side.
Yeah.
Factory. Yeah.
Yeah, super cool truck. I ended up finding that thing on the coast, like St. Mary's, Georgia.
I mean, it kind of looks that way.
Oh boy, it's got the rust, Ron. We're not gonna try to, it was a UBT special for sure.
Definitely.
But
I don't know that I really want to. It's one of the straightest rusty.
It's
trucks.
the straightest truck I've ever seen. That's that rusty.
It's incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I bought it for a reason. I was gonna do something with it. I'm glad that you're doing something with it. So, what's the goal for the truck?
So I grew up really like I was an import nerd. Like, that's just what we could afford, when I was coming into cars and stuff like that. So I was really always like a BBS guy, a Brembo guy,
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the reasons why, like, me and Sarah,
Yeah.
always joke around like her Subaru. I love it, because that's what I was into.
Yeah, man.
And so there's other meats out there like Riverside Meat in Chattanooga that has a lot of import stuff. And then you have, Import Landis talking about coming back. And so I really wanted a truck where I could, one, enjoy it, two, not have shiny paint, not have to worry about it. Because I do body work for a living, and I don't necessarily always want to do body work on my own stuff.
I wouldn't either.
So I wanted a multi-purpose truck. So, of course, it's going to be LS swapped. The BBSs are off of a BMW. They're actually 17s, but we're going to triple step them up to 19s. So it'll be like, it's going to be a 19.9 in the front, like a 19.11 in the back.
Dude.
It's pretty killer. I cut out the steel floor.
Yeah.
And just got a bunch of pallets from work and let them sit outside. It's going to have a pallet bed floor in it, but it's very super cool. Yeah, it's
like you're gonna run them all like the way the wood normally runs,
Yeah.
but just take each individual plank and put them all together.
Yeah, so I cut them all up the way I needed them. There's 3 different sections of it, and then I got Auto Metal Direct, the wide bed tubs for it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna run those in it.
Very cool.
Just try to leave it really as it is. Like, I don't want to really mess with it. We got huge slosh tubs going in the front just to make sure we have all the room that we need. I'm excited for it.
What are you calling this truck?
So I love this truck, and I love the thing behind it because I actually got Dad to come out last year to get it.
Yep.
Found out that my Duramax was having some head gasket issues, so Dad was like, we'll just go get it.
In the new Duramax.
So we went out to get it and all that stuff, and I got it back home, and I started pressure washing it, and I found a beer bottle down in the wheel well, and I found like 2 packs of Winston cigarettes.
Yeah.
And back in the day when I was growing up, my dad smoked. He doesn't anymore, but he smoked Winston's.
Yeah.
So I texted my dad a picture of it, and I was like, I'm just going to call the truck Winston.
Yeah.
And then me and you joke around about it because it's kind of a budget build. Like, I don't want to go insane. So we just call it Working Man Winston.
Working Man Winston. I think it's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I think it's a very fitting name for a truck like that. Like, it's not going to be, just anything that's like over the top, like from a paint and body perspective or anything like that. It's going to be down and dirty, patina. Like, you look at the truck and you're like, man, super OG looking truck. I bet that thing had a ton of options, because it did. I mean, it had a ton of options. but somebody just let it sit around forever and didn't do anything with it. Like when I picked it up and then when you picked it up from me, I mean, like it was all OG. I think maybe the column or the steering wheel had been I think maybe the steering wheel had been changed to like a square body steering wheel. But other than that, I mean, it was all OG. And hey, if you're looking for quality USA-made GM truck suspension components, look no further than Tinworks Fabrication. Taylor and his team are based out of Iowa and employ some of the best craftsmen in the classic truck community. Whether you're looking for an inner stiffener for your performance truck or you need LS swap motor mounts or tubular suspension components for your cruiser, Tinworks has you covered. Fast shipping, attention to detail, and the highest of quality. Head over to tinworksfabrication.com to place your order today. And don't forget about the Hot Rod Square Body Truck giveaway that we've got going on. All the details and official rules are over at unitedbytrucks.com/giveaway. Every $5 spent equals 1 entry. And as always with these types of giveaways, there's no purchase necessary, and the giveaway ends 5/15/25. So don't forget, Mississippi Mud, our Hot Rod Square Body, doing a giveaway, ends 5/15/25. Lower 48 residents only. UnitedByTrucks.com/giveaway.
And what's even crazier about it is we had talked about it at least probably a year, maybe 2 years ago before I even got the truck. We had talked about, hey, if I don't do anything with it, I was like, hey, if you don't do something with that, like I'll do something. Well, I had a rendering done.
Yeah.
And I was dead set on painting this truck. I had a rendering done. It's framed. It's hanging in my shop.
Yeah.
I was going to call the truck Rowdy.
Yeah.
Paint it all white.
Yeah, I remember it was white.
And do bottom trim only on it. And I thought, this is going to be killer. It's just we'll call it Rowdy. And it's still hanging up in the shop. Well, when me and Dad got the truck, we looked it over when we got back home. And I pressure washed it.
Yep.
And then, scrubbed it down. And I was like,
it's too straight.
I can't bring myself to mess with this thing, man. So that's how it ended up the way it is. Like, but I still have the rendering. I was like,
yeah, I love it. Well, I think the other truck we're going to talk about in a minute, because we got a little ask the crew questions we're going to get to here at the end. And there's an old truck that one of our supporters is asking about, and I think that truck you had planned for it to be white. I think you've always wanted a white square body is what it is. But we'll get into that in a minute. But I'm super glad you ended up with that thing. I'm glad you're doing something with it. You got a bunch of cool parts like that you've gotten from a lot of our, supporting companies, but you got from me, you got from friends. Like you're really just pulling all this stuff together from like parts you had sitting on the shelf kind of thing. And I think that's cool. Like I think that's what's going to make it have some like soul.
So I think the biggest, coolest thing real quick is that the motor that's in it.
Yeah.
So years ago, it was a 5.3, and a guy had posted on the C10 Club page.
Yeah.
And so I went to go to the guy's house, and it turns out his son, his son knew who I was.
Yeah.
And he was like, talking to his kid, he's like, get out of here, I'm trying to sell this engine.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting the motor, and I think I paid like $100 for it or something.
Dang.
Like dirt cheap, but he said it had a lifter issue and all this other stuff. Well, my best friend Nathan, he had a Nova at the time. That's the Nova that we had at the house.
Yeah, the white Nova.
The white Nova we had at the house when we swapped Pecos.
Yep.
And so he ended up wanting a 5.3. So I sold it to him for $100. And I was like, you use it. I have Pecos. Like, I don't need it. And so, he ended up selling the Nova. And for like the last 2 or 3 years, the motor's just been sitting in my garage.
Yeah.
He never had moved it, never did anything. So I texted him. I was like, hey, man, what are you going to do with the motor? He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, you want to put it in your truck? I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll give you $100 for it. He's like, I don't.
$100 back.
He's like, I don't worry about it. He's like, it's been at your house for however long now. So me and Alex, we joke around and we call it the free 5.3.
Yeah. Free 5.3 going into Working Man Winston.
And so the caveat to all that though is he had already bought a cam. He bought a Texas Speed cam. He bought a Torker V2.
Yeah.
He bought lifters, all this stuff for it. And so I texted him and I was like, hey man, do you still have all that?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, I do. He's like, just make me an offer. And I said, well, what's it worth to you? He's like, I don't know, what's it worth? And so I sent him back a message. I said, what's it worth or what do I want to pay for it?
Right.
And he goes, what do you
True
want?
Ron fashion.
Yeah. Everybody wants a deal.
I feel like I was next to you and you were texting him this.
Yeah.
We were somewhere.
We were somewhere.
Yeah.
He's like,
he's like, this is what I sent him.
We might have been in Myrtle Beach.
That might have been it.
Might have been in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
So I texted him. I was like, I said, what's it worth or what do I want to pay? And he goes, well, what do you want to pay? And I texted him back. I said, not what it's worth.
Yeah.
So I hit him at like $400 for this cam kit.
Dude.
All brand new. And he's like, just come to the house and get it, man. Like, I don't have time
I love
to deal
it.
with it.
You got time to mess with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, too
But we've been
bad.
friends since we were like 12. So
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're going to rip off anybody.
And his Nova was at your house for like 2 years or
some
something.
Never charged the guy for storage. So
Right.
I'm just like, all right, cool, man, whatever. So we have a cam kit for it.
Very cool.
Alex, so he bought that 69 off of Brian Weimer.
Yep.
Well, he didn't have room for it. So he stored it at my house for
Yep.
the longest time. And my C10 was actually under the carport.
Yep.
And so Alex came to me one day and he goes, hey, man, Emily is like on me about how much a storage building is going to be and blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, just leave it at the house. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, so because Alex and Emily ended up buying the 69 from.
Yeah, they brought it
Brian.
from Brian Weimer.
Yeah.
I rode up with him to Brian's house to
Yeah.
get it.
Okay.
And so Alex goes, hey, man, he goes, it could be like 4, 5, 6 months that it's going to be there. I said,
Yeah.
dude, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I bought a car cover for it, everything. I said, I don't care, man.
Yeah.
So he comes to me one day and he goes, you need a transmission? I was like,
Always.
I was like, well, yeah, actually, I'm going to need a transmission for the blue truck. And he goes, well, I have a 4L80 in the back of the shop. He's like, I'll bring it to you.
Nice.
And he's like, for letting my truck be here. So, I mean, all these parts are just,
yeah, free 5.3, free 4L80.
Yeah,
You know?
just-
But I mean, you know,
Free for Ron.
yeah, free for Ron. Free for Ron. I like it. Working man Winston getting it done up.
that's what I'm saying, man. You just work with what you got. So now
Yeah.
we're a 5.3 4L80, like, ready to party.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. I'm excited to see where this truck goes, man.
Yeah.
Rick, tell me what you've been up to. A lot of folks have been asking me about the burb.
Yeah.
And that was one of the questions that we were going to get to, but we might as well address a little bit of it now, man. What's going on with it?
We're nothing at the moment, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some leaks.
Yeah.
So it's the trans is leaking pretty
so
bad.
it's got oil in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's that. The trans is leaking pretty bad. But I talked with John, so he's building me a new 7R4 for it.
Yeah.
I think tomorrow he gets the core. So
Very cool.
we have a deal in place for some other situation.
Yeah.
Like Ron's, I guess, kind of like Ron's stuff.
Man, everybody's wheeling and dealing these days.
Yeah.
It's
So
fun
so
to
we'll
trade it out.
so we'll throw that in there, and then we should be good to go for a while. You know, as far as like drivetrain, because the motor seems to run fine.
Did you end up getting air shocks or whatever you're going to do on the rear? How'd that go?
It went good. I took it up to me and Kelvin, put them on, ran a little airline out to the gas door, and
Yeah.
you know,
Sweet.
So it rides great.
What motor's in this thing?
It's just 350. Yeah,
Sweet.
it's 350 right now. So we'll change that out. At least get the trans out and get overdrive, and then I think it'd be good to go for a while until
Yeah.
we figure out
The next
you know,
move.
Yeah, because we got the shop stuff going on too. So
Yep.
we built a shop at the house and had a branch come through the roof pretty instantly. So
Yeah, like within days
It's
of having
something
this
like
thing
that.
On the
fully
shop?
done. Yeah.
I
yeah,
didn't even know about it. You had a
Yeah.
in the shop. Oh, man.
Just come right
So
through
it-
that new roof.
and I had literally just moved the truck. So it was right before we went to Florida for the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I moved the truck forward, my red and white truck, and I was too lazy to move it back in like where the parking spot it was in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And a branch hit right where the truck was sitting,
Man.
and it bounced off the ground and hit the tailgate. So it kind of messed up the tailgate band, but AMD has those now, so that got a brand new tailgate band, so it looks
Nice.
great.
Nice.
Sounds like a good excuse for new parts.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, man, this branch hit my whole truck. Yeah. I need all new trim.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
That. But the shop's still a work in progress kind of thing too. You know, that's
Yeah.
we got I got the first coating down on the floor. It looks good. Yeah, we just temporary power at the moment, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Tell everybody at home what size this thing is.
It's a 30 by 70.
So it's got that girth.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because it's got 3 doors, and then we'll have like Sarah and I both work from home for our regular jobs, so I'm gonna have an office out there.
Yeah.
That way we're kind of not in the house, at the same time doing
Yeah.
calls or whatnot. So we'll have that eventually. We'll have another room in the back. We're kind of a hangout room.
Yeah, a little bar
Yeah, a
situation.
little bar situation.
Yeah.
I gotta
That's
have it.
awesome, man. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
It looks really awesome. You live in a super cool neighborhood, and the aesthetic of the shop is one of my favorite things. Tell everybody what you've done what you did to it that's a little different than how a lot of people are building shops.
You mean like the color?
Coloring,
Yeah, it's all black.
With the gutters and all that.
Yeah, it's all black with copper trim.
Yeah.
Like it's like a metallic copper, not like regular copper. But but it's painted copper trim. I think it looks pretty rad.
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, so
super unique.
Yeah. It's got awning on the front. It's got a 10 by 30 awning on the front too.
Yeah.
So we'll have that kind of area too to hang out.
So you bring the buns and I'll bring the hot dogs.
That's right. A couple cold drinks.
You know, Rick's got a bar.
Oh, that's true. You don't even have to bring drinks. He's got that. I'm gonna have to come stock it with my NA beers.
Yeah, man, we can do that.
Well, we don't have to belabor this point, but I know some folks have commented and even asked me about the red and white truck.
Yeah.
And seeing it, not making it to LST in the last video that we put out on that. What's going on with it?
Yeah, so we think we got a bearing issue. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the bearings, rods on. We're gonna do it we're gonna leave motor in it, kind of and do it.
Suspend it.
Yep.
And
make sure that's what it is. So I was trying to do that before the show. It just isn't gonna happen.
It can still runs and drives, though,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it runs drives. It just makes a funny noise. It sounds like a chicken squawking, man. Like it's.
You sure it's not like a flex plate?
We checked that.
Boy, we spent hours in the dang Harbor Freight parking lot because that's exactly what it ended up being on Pecos.
Yeah.
In the original drivetrain that came out. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but we definitely checked it, man, because I was like, that's the first thing I started thinking about. I was like, this doesn't sound. It sounded like a flex plate.
We'll know more when we get it,
or torque converter bolt even.
Yeah, we're gonna change the pan on it because it's got that little pan.
Yeah,
so we're gonna change that while we're doing this.
Yeah, because it's got the factory truck pan. Still on it.
The little skid plate.
Yeah. I love that truck, man. It's gonna be good as new, regardless.
Yeah, it's been really good to me.
Yeah, 90,000 miles.
Yeah, we're close to 90.
Yeah,
that we've put on that. Most of that was you and I together,
or
all three of us, whatever.
I know. That's what's rad. We have really.
Ron's got a few thousand miles in that seat.
Yeah, he does.
That seat is something else.
It is nice.
That seat is something else.
It is a nice seat. I think Rick and Cato put a nice little thing in motion with that thing.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of seats that come after that, a lot like
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. I like the seating position in there too.
Yeah, it's a little lower, which I like.
Yeah.
But it's great.
Well, before we get into road trips and all that stuff, y'all know I got notes here, a little agenda kind of thing, just to keep us kind of on track. I try to keep these to about an hour and a half so it doesn't get, too crazy. But I want to talk about just very quickly how we all know each other. And Rick, I'm going to start with you. So how did we meet? And Ron, you remember how we met, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
because I'm kind of popping y'all on the spot with this one.
Yeah, that's cool. It was the first C10 Club Georgia meet.
Yeah.
And I think I was the first one there.
I think you were. And it was in 2017?
I don't remember.
It was either 2016 or 2017.
Yeah, we were at John's house.
Yeah.
And I was the first one there. I was like, man, am I in the right spot? And like what is this going to be? Yeah. I didn't know anybody. You know, like I had just gotten that truck. I just gotten that SQRBDY. I had a 67 before that for a while. And I think I might have still had it then.
I think you did too.
Yeah.
You would show. I remember seeing pictures of it,
Yeah.
and then I remember you selling it, but I never saw the truck.
Right, I sold it to actually a good friend of mine. She wanted that truck. Her and I met because of that 67. She lived in a neighborhood.
Yeah,
and she stopped. She's like, "Hey, I love this truck," and then we became friends and we're hanging out. I'm like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna probably sell this truck."
Yeah.
So she's like, "I want it."
I got that SQRBDY fever.
And at that point, she was living in New Mexico, so she came all the way to get it.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
Her and her boyfriend came all the way out there in a U-Haul and took it back, or came here and rented a U-Haul and took it back.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You think they still have it now?
No, I don't think she does. She's in the planes now.
Oh, okay.
So
Aviation will take all that money. All that money. Yeah, your buddy Nathan's a pilot, isn't he, Ron?
Yeah, that's why he can afford to sell me a cam kit for $400.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. Well,
she actually lives in Baja now.
Man, this lady has a very interesting life.
Oh, yeah, she's been everywhere.
Yeah.
She's great.
That's cool. So we met at C10 Club Georgia back in the day. I can't even remember what year it was that I helped get that going here, but we met then. You and I met, Ron, sometime probably it was 2016, 2015.
Could be 15, 16, yeah.
Because I think I had just started messing around with the club stuff.
Yeah.
And You think when me and Ron met?
Well, when I met Ron for the first time, she
Yep,
was
Millie was
Oh
tiny.
yeah, but when you hear the story, you may not have met Ron the first time I met him.
The first time I
Sarah's over here interjecting in the background, folks, for those who aren't watching on video.
Well, the first time I met you was at your other house.
Yeah,
The one that's not even what's in my driveway, like the other house.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I bought 67 fenders from
He
you.
met us at Hickory Walk. That's right.
I bought
out of the-
67 fenders from you because
Yep.
they were on Craigslist.
Yes.
And I was like, man, Marietta's a ride.
Yeah.
But I drove out here and I wanted the fenders on the truck. I wanted the 67s because
Yeah,
there's no side markers.
no marker
And
lights.
again, I was too lazy to just shave the fenders that I had. So why not ride to Marietta? And, Marietta's like an hour and a half from my house.
Yeah,
Like
on
I
a
can go to
good day.
I can go to South Carolina faster than I can come here.
Yep.
And so I came out and we got fenders, and that's when you were talking about, hey, I'm trying to get C10 Club Georgia thing going, and you were talking about all that stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Got your number, and we kind of
Yep.
went back and forth.
It was 2016 because then me and you with your separate group of buddies, and then me and my buddies, we all went to LST in 2017 and met up.
That's right.
We met up there. So I think it was 2016 or 2015 when we met. And
Yeah, you were still in that house though when we met too.
yeah. No, I think we were both talking about the same house.
Yeah.
We were at the
Yeah.
Colston house.
Yeah,
Not
the
the one
other-
I'm in now.
Yeah,
the
the
other
other
house.
the other one, the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
pre-
Where
yeah.
I started
Yeah.
UBT. Yeah. Where you came and cut the notch on Teddy, where we
Yeah.
all started doing all the stuff. Yeah.
It was Whitlock Garage then.
It was Whitlock Garage
Yeah,
then.
that was-
Yeah. Not Hickory Walk, but my Colston house. Yeah, that's right. But I think it was, so we all met each other within a year of each other and before the channel, before Whitlock Garage
Yeah,
and UBT, which is just so cool to think about.
It's insane to think about.
I was looking through some videos today, just kind of preparing for all this. And Rick, if you need another beer, let us
good.
know.
I'm
We
good.
got Sarah's gonna hand us some cold
good.
beers out of
Thank
that cooler. But I was doing some research, looking at some dates and stuff, and the very first video that I ever posted on UBT when it was Whitlock Garage, you two are both in. Like it's me and you two, and then John Padgett.
Oh, that one
And
where
we were putting the cab on
When you
with
yeah.
the tractor when he about popped
Yeah.
the back window out of Teddy with the forks on the tractor.
I barely knew John. I'm like, Robbie, you might want to come outside for a second.
He was a little wild with the equipment for sure. But and those were videos that we didn't film for the channel. They were just videos that were on my phone that I just documented of us putting Teddy together for the first time. And so I started the channel November 28th of 2018, and that was in May of 2018 that those videos were from. So when I started the channel, I just pulled those videos together, strung them together and put them out there. But you two both helped me put
Yeah.
Teddy together originally, and so did Evan Dobbins.
Right.
But you two specifically, when it came to like getting the truck actually all back together,
Had it
getting
looking
the-
like a truck again.
having it looking like a truck again.
Yeah. Because and then shortly after that, we did Power Tour, right?
That's
Like,
right.
Yeah, you guys
So
did
that's
Power
why
Tour.
it was May.
Yeah.
And then me and my dad, and then you. Excuse me. Me and my dad, and then you. Did you have somebody ride with you?
Sarah was with me.
Sarah was with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So me and my dad, you and Sarah, a couple of other folks, we all left for Power Tour in June of that year.
I remember coming up on you guys on the highway. We kind
Yeah.
of met you on the highway.
Yep.
That was cool.
Man, so much fun. I think I've got videos of that too.
Yeah.
I know I've got pictures of me and you at Beach Bend and
Yeah.
Bowling Green sitting there. Your red and white square body and Teddy sitting right next to each other.
Green egg tent.
Yeah, the green egg tent back before we had branded tents. Man, I just think that's so cool. Thinking about some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And speaking of, like, I've got some notes here because I want to jump in on some of these road trips. We'll come back to C10s in the city, Rick.
Sure.
If you don't mind. But we just talked about that first video where we were all together and y'all are helping me build Teddy or whatnot. First, what's in my driveway, Rick? That was you. That was your truck. I didn't even remember that. So when it probably wasn't even what's in my driveway, like conceptually, like your truck on the torque thrusts,
Right.
I still love, by the way.
Me too. Stock interior.
I'm selling all torque thrust all the time.
But Rick's torque thrusts are cool because
know
they
they
have the
just-
knockoffs.
I know they had the knockoffs.
They're-
That's exactly
that's
what I was
what
going to
makes
say.
them so cool.
Yeah, they looked. Oh man, I loved that truck.
I still have those knockoffs somewhere. I think they're in my toolbox.
Let's hang
I
them
bet
up on
they
the
are.
wall
I know
at
we
your
should put them
shop.
in here. Yeah, or put them in your shop.
They might
Hang 'em
go.
up.
They might go on the burb.
Yeah, they might, because you still got torque thrust on it,
do
don't
that.
you?
At the moment.
Yeah, I know. Rick's the torque thrust hater.
Dude, Rick is a wheel snob of all wheel
Yes, he
snobs.
I'll admit it. I admit it.
I love it though. You got them billets though, and it changed your life. You know?
In the words of Rocky, if you're gonna talk wheels with Rick, you better come correct.
That's right. You better come correct. You better come with a little change. So first, what's in my driveway was with your truck, and speaking of Rocky, the second one was actually Pearl.
Yeah.
Back in its OG configuration.
I met him that day. The day we did. That's the first day I met Rocky. Was the day you did the what's in my driveway.
No
my truck.
kidding.
Yeah.
Man, I wish you were here for that.
Yeah.
Just to have a little something to say about that. I didn't realize that. I didn't remember that. If I realized that at the time.
Because he
That's pretty
pulled up.
rad.
He just pulled up because I didn't know him, and you're like, oh, I got one of my buddies coming by, and it was Rocky.
Yeah.
I had never met him.
Man, and lifelong friendship
Yeah.
since.
Yeah.
God, so cool.
Me and Rocky drank a lot of beers together.
I know. We were drinking some beers that day for sure in that driveway. That was on a Saturday. We were having a ball out there. The other thing I wanted to mention was Pecos and the surprise video. So the first What's in My Driveway with Rick was on May 14th, 2019, or that's when I released the video.
But you can almost go back a minute. Like the first trip to Alabama, Pecos.
I got it here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It's actually after that. It's 3 months after that when we went to Alabama.
When we got the truck. Oh, I'm following you now.
Yeah. So when we
Sorry.
did, that's all right. When we got,
Yep,
when
I'm
Amanda
with you.
bought the truck, and then we went and got it and delivered it to the house, and you come home, and you know the whole surprise video, which a lot of UBTers have seen, folks have seen.
I got a lot of hate on that, by the way.
Why?
Yeah, people called me out on that video, man.
Well, you got your girl buying you cars, man. Like,
Man.
what do you
But
what do
the
you expect?
thing is,
Bad
like-
truck, son.
Yeah, that's cool.
So here's the thing: is I didn't. People were just. I don't know if
Is that
I
what
can,
they were
I don't
talking
know
about?
if I can say the word, but people were just like, calling me just like an a-hole kind of thing.
No kidding.
Because of like my demeanor.
Oh, well,
of how
you had just come home from LST.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like it was like
You've been driving in a car for like 14, 15
And it was late.
hours. So
it
late.
it was late, but we
Probably
were
weren't feeling the best.
we were out pretty late the night before.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We had gone to Twin Peaks and like we got kicked out of like an indoor skydiving place because even they were like, no, not in here kind of thing.
No, not in here.
Yeah, like they stopped us at the door. Like they could tell they were like, no, not in here, boys.
Yeah.
So then we got home and I guess I just looked totally out of it.
I didn't catch that at all.
And
I do now that you mention it.
And
Remember
I guess
some
I just
comments.
wasn't like super receptive of like the whole thing, but I was just wore out and I was just in a state. But I caught
You were
a-
also surprised with a truck.
yeah.
Of all things, and your buddies popping up out of your dark carport.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
like-
Looking like you're getting attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Here's
I
a dude
was
with a
just-
camera, and we're all just standing up
Caught
like.
a lot of flack for that. I was like, but for the longest time, like I was like, well, I can't tell every single person the story behind it. So like now I get to be like, you understand why I was the way I was?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, I don't know. I consider that one of the greatest moments in UBT history.
It was
That would
awesome.
be one of the top moments.
So the when it hit me was the next morning.
Yeah.
So I got up the next morning, and when I was out in the carport, I was like, "Oh crap! Like this is mine.
Yeah, this is my truck.
This is really here."
Yeah.
Because I'd been working on Clay about that thing for a couple months,
Yep.
and I had sold another truck to even get that truck.
I know it.
So it was
And
That one-
Amanda
is that
knew.
the one you sold to John?
no. So the one that I had,
Oh, the square body.
the silver square body that I
Sold
had.
to your fireman buddy.
Was
Yeah.
that a round eye truck?
No, it was still a square eye. It was
was
still
a slope nose truck?
Still slope nose. So
Your fireman buddy got, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So I sold
Ashley.
it to Ashley.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mashburn.
Mashburn.
Yes.
Yeah. And so,
I haven't seen that
but
guy
I
in a
told
while.
him he wanted the truck really bad, and he lived down the road from me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, man, there's a truck that I've got my eye on, but if this guy will sell it, I'll sell you this one." So I worked on Clay for a while about it. He's like, "Man, I don't know. I want to do this to it. I want to do that to it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Nah, you want to sell it to me."
And we're talking about Clay Marlowe, C10 squared. Shout
Yeah.
out Clay.
So Clay finally gave me the call and was like, "Hey, man, you still interested in it?" And he goes, "Here's the number with the wheels. Here's the number without the wheels. Non-negotiable. You either want it or you don't."
Yeah.
And
He
so,
knew what he had.
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, I'm going out to LST, so it'll be like a week or two before I could get out there." And that's kind of how you guys had it all. But I made the call to Ashley, and I told Clay, I said, "Hey, listen, in order for me to put this deal together, I need to call
I
this
need
guy.
this money, yeah.
I need the cash."
Yep.
And luckily, Ashley, he was like, Dude,
ready to go.
He came like the next day. I hadn't even finished lowering the front of the truck. I'd bought all the parts in the drop kit.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish the front, and he came to the house and bought it.
Man, I love it.
Drove it home, and then I was like, all right, Clay, now I got the money.
Yeah, now I'm ready to go.
I'll take it. So
Yeah.
it's really weird how things work out, but yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
So you didn't expect to even have the truck for probably another week because you live, like we say, in Gainesville. Clay lived way out even past me in Bremen Bremen area.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably didn't even expect to get the truck. But you come home from LST. We're there with the truck.
Yeah.
And you're shocked. And then that was on February 25th of 2019. So I'm trying to kind of paint a little bit of a timeline here. Like we had Rick's truck in the driveway on February 14th, February 20, or these are when the videos dropped. So they would have been a couple of days before at the time. And then we went on, it was roughly 3 months later or 2 months later, we went on the Battle in Bama trip. Yeah. And this is the trip that made me think, all right, we got something here. Like this is going to be, people are going to enjoy watching this kind of stuff.
That's the trip that made me go, I need an LS.
I knew that's coming. I knew that was coming.
Because Rick's got a heavy foot.
You got one pretty quick after that, too.
Yeah, Rick's got a heavy foot, man.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Hey, you always make me go out front.
I know, I like it.
And the thing is, too, is like, Rick's got that good cruising speed on the way there, but Rick's got a whole nother gear on the way
That's
home.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
Rick is like, when he's ready to go home, like, it's time to get to the house.
Yeah,
That's,
we're going.
that's a true statement.
We're gonna knock the back out of this thing. Let's go.
He gonna put it in the wind. Like, it's time to go.
I'm trying to think. So I was looking at the video a little bit earlier today. So you were in Pecos, Ron, with a 305 700R.
Yeah.
You were in your red and white truck, Rick, with 5.3 LS or 6.0 LS, a 4L60.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Teddy, the rough version, first version. 5.3 with a 4L60. So we're rolling on pretty good. I was watching the video a little bit today, Ron, and you did the intro with the GoPro, and I remember when you sent me that footage. I remember watching it and thinking this is the greatest intro. Like this is going to be so cool because it was just the position of the camera, what you said. And when I watched it today, now that I know a lot more about all this, I'm like, man, you can barely hear him. And it wasn't you. It's just I didn't have the audio dialed.
We had no idea.
No idea. We were just making it happen.
Yeah.
And I remember we stopped over, like we pulled over one time going down, a little peanut stand or something right there. Yeah. Took a bunch of cool pics, got a bunch of good B-roll of the trucks, but. I
had was that the year I took Cato's little scooter?
I don't think it was that year.
No.
I think it was the next year that you took Cato's scooter because I just remember it being fresh that we were doing all this.
Yeah.
Like
we got home kind of late.
Yeah.
Because I remember we stopped to do some filming on the side somewhere. Yeah. And that's when I had like that little T for the brake. The rear brakes was leaking. Oh. And it was all over you guys' windshield.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, this was in February of 2019. So I mean, in May of 2019. So that's been a long time ago, man. That's been 6 years ago. Not almost over 6 years. But that was the trip though where I was like, we're gonna be able to do this. This is before Ron stopped driving trucks all across the country and wanting to fly everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not, I used to do this.
Now Winston's going though.
Yeah, I'm gonna start my own podcast. I'm just gonna talk about airports, all the good like restaurants in them, and like all the good parking areas.
What kind of Ubers you had from the airport to the house? Yeah,
which one's got clean bathrooms?
Yes. But this, I just think back on that video as like this defining moment, like in our friendships and the way we traveled together, because like that set the tone for the way we travel with everyone. Mm-hmm. Like we all travel that way, even when you do go periodically now. Like we all know what to expect, and like when others come into the orbit and travel with us, which I love and want anybody is welcome to travel with us anytime. Yeah. Rick, you always put it out there. We always try to make sure we let everybody know, but that we have a pace, we have a way we like to do things. We stop about every 200 miles. That's mostly because of me, and I don't know, I'm just getting old and need to stop and pee most of the time, but stop about every 200 miles.
We love a good Arby's sandwich too.
That's
like our thing on the road.
Gotta have some Arby's.
We love a good Arby's sandwich.
Yeah, gotta have some Arby's. You gotta have a relatively quick stop. I'm like always rushing to film something, and then y'all are a lot of times y'all button things back up on the truck after I've gotten gas or something. Like, we just have this flow, of getting it done efficiently and getting on down the road. But that trip right there let me know, like, we're going to be able to do this. We're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
This is the thing that's going to be awesome. And if it doesn't go anywhere, like, for the internet, it'll at least be fun for us,
Yeah, because I tried to go to Battle in Bama the year before and lost a trans line on the way there at like 9 o'clock at night. And I didn't know it was the trans line. I thought it was the trans completely.
Oh.
So Sarah and I had to leave the truck in Montgomery, rented a car, and then we went the year before.
I do remember this. Yeah.
So we went the year before, but like we didn't have a truck.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd ever been to a show like that, like a big show like that.
Me either. This year, was that the year that the tornado came across the bay?
That was
the
Churchill was with us that year.
Okay, so that was a different year.
Yeah.
That
was when I had the scooter.
I think I hid in your room during
did.
that. That was scary.
Sarah's
I don't like them storms.
Sarah's got a story about that. She loves to tell.
I wish you were here to tell it.
Yeah. I was still at the venue though when you could see it out there, because I was like, well, you guys go ahead and go. I'll stay here and hang out. Then I'm like, see this dark cloud. I was like, should have left.
Yeah, it was there. It was there.
Jeremy had texted me. He's like, "Hey man, move your truck under the awning." So I put my truck and his truck on the awning, and no one else really could fit under there.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember it because my room wasn't on the first floor, I don't think.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And y'all's room was on the first floor, and I was like, I'm not.
I asked for the first floor because that scooter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So maybe it was the same. Oh, no, that's right. It wasn't the same year.
Next year. I think it was the year after.
Yeah. But, well, that Battle in Bama trip was awesome. I want to talk a little bit about some of the Dino's and LST trips. In 20, we took the Blazer to Dino's.
I flew.
You flew.
Pat, so that's like one of the first times I remember. So I kind of met Pat and all that stuff, but that's like one of the first times me and Pat like really like kicked it, because
I think that's the first year I met Pat too.
Like, I landed and Pat called me and was like, "Hey man," he's like, "Robbie's got a brake issue. He's like pulling up to the airport." And I'm like, my mom told me not to just like get in car with strangers, but like I met this guy on the internet. He's got to be cool.
Yeah, I mean, truck guys on the internet
this
are cool.
This short little bearded dude with glasses. I'm like, all right, he's a trustworthy kind of guy.
I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, so he took me because Barry was there. That's the year Barry was there. We stayed in that little bitty bungalow house.
Yeah, Rocky was there too.
Yeah,
Rocky rode out, and it was. Barry, Rocky, me,
He picked me up from the airport. That's another thing I could talk about, is like all the cool like trips I've had to the airport. So one
picked you up.
While we're on the thing of Dino's though, one year when I went out to Pro Tour and Truck Shoot Out West, Ronnie took me to the airport in Orange Slice.
Yeah.
So I've gotten some pretty cool rides to the airport.
Yeah, you have.
From the airport.
Yeah, cool people and cool trucks.
Yeah.
Shout out Ronnie. 20 was the Blazer. You were in the.
I didn't go.
You didn't go in 20.
Yeah.
20, and you flew out, Ron. Yeah. 22, I went in mud, me and Rocky. Did you come out in 22 when we had mud? I don't think you did either. And then you drove out in the red and white truck.
Yeah.
And then this year, we did.
Brian rode with me out there.
And then we did Teddy and red and white truck this year, this past year.
Mm-hmm.
LST, though, we've gone every year since 2019, some configuration of, I guess, all of us in some way. You didn't go this past year.
I didn't go this past year.
This past year you missed. But I want to talk about – can I talk about the one embarrassing year, Ron, where the taco year?
The taco year. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll like refresh.
I'll refresh your memory.
So he ain't gonna care.
One of my favorite memories. I know. I just feel like I gotta ask. One of my favorite memories is it was right when we got you. You had Pecos there, and I was in. Let's see, what year would that have been? I had the Blazer, and I think you were in the red and white truck, Rick.
Yep.
And it was the year we met the Parkers, and I remember them coming over. And you'd been drinking them Modelo's all day. I mean, you were.
Oh, that was
you were on one.
Y'all had the bunk beds that year. That was with.
That was the party. So Kevin and Frankie.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Bad influences.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the problem.
Yeah. That was. I remember.
Note to self: don't try to drink Modelo's with your Hispanic friends.
Yeah,
it does not work.
How many of us were in that house? I mean, there was a few of us in that house.
Me and Barry shared a room, and then you were.
No,
in
that
there.
was me and you shared a room. Mm-mm. Is that not the same?
It's on the same house. He's talking about
Rocky.
the ones.
Oh, that's right.
You and Rocky had a room. Me and Barry had a room. He was down there in the party room, and then we had Johnny
That's when Johnny
came
North Georgia Johnny.
He was in one of the bunk beds with us.
Oh,
Because
man.
there was
these
me,
three clowns.
There was me and Kevin on one, and then you had Johnny, and for some reason he got the top bunk.
I bet.
And then Frankie was in the bottom bunk.
That's probably why he left early.
That's probably why he left
But he
there.
put his stuff up there. But we called that like the summer camp room or something.
Yeah, it was
like that,
two bunk
'cause
beds
it
in there.
was
It was
just-
four
Wasn't it up
guys.
the stairs to the right, but on the
Yeah,
left? Like
yeah.
the room was on the left.
Yeah, I was on the other across the hall.
Yes, I do remember that now.
Because there was two single beds in that room that me and Barry are in.
There was this time during the show, though. I think it was like Saturday afternoon or whatever. We'd all gotten tacos, and we were all crushing tacos. But you had your tacos sitting up on the bed rail of Pecos, and you knocked one of them off on the ground.
Yeah.
And it was like this moment where nobody was really talking or whatever. We're all standing around. I saw you do it, and you just looked down at it, and then you just picked it all up in this handful of grass and just ate it. And I loved it. I was like, "This is Ron."
It was like a Bear Grylls moment for me. A little grass won't hurt.
I don't know why we still talk about. I mean, Rocky brings that up to me all the time. Like he thinks it's one of the greatest things he's ever seen.
That was the first trip with the Blazer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It was a rough trip on
It
the
was
way
a
out.
rough trip.
Yeah, that was a rough trip.
That would have been 2020. We built the Blazer, and then had something. We thought something was going on with the fuse block.
It was in the back of the fuse block. It
And
just
it
wasn't
turned
making a
out
connection.
being the fuel
power, right?
pump power wire, which is just a tad short. And we ended up getting it fixed.
Yeah, we
was
FaceTimed Alex.
That's exactly what he was eating spaghetti.
Yeah, he was eating
Yeah,
dinner.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, Chaz was under the dash.
Yep.
And at one point, everybody's arguing. I'm like, "Yeah, forget you guys. I'm out." And I went up there. I went and got like a dozen Arby's sandwiches and brought them back.
Yes. Yeah, because we were in Denham Springs, Louisiana. I'll never forget it.
It was cold.
We
It was
passed
raining.
the exit all the time. It was not. It had turned nighttime. I don't think it was nighttime when we got there, but it turned nighttime.
We were there 4 hours. I
And
think.
we were there 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Because
And
it took like 21 hours to actually get out to Texas.
yeah,
21,
yeah,
22
we were
hours.
driving 2 a.m. kind of
You
stuff.
still had your black 1500.
Yeah,
Because Kevin and Frankie drove that because they had all the stuff in the back.
Oh yeah, did we take?
Yeah.
Yeah, we took my 2018 truck
Yeah.
before I got into the diesel stuff.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Because it was like one of the first ones where we had everything like a tent set up.
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
T-shirts. Like we kind of had the whole setup that we have now.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they were driving your truck and all that stuff. And
I
so,
forgot about
because they were
that.
sitting, everybody else is like freezing. You guys are
I
freezing
wasn't.
in the truck. Yeah.
Rick ain't never
And they're
cold or hot.
They're sitting in your new truck and they're just like, waiting on you guys.
Man,
Yeah,
it's
me and
so
Chaz.
crazy. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
And that was the trip where, for me, we got to that Airbnb at like 2, 3 in the morning.
Oh yeah, it was late.
And I'm like,
Forever.
I said to Chaz, I said, I'm not looking at the front wheels.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
And I went in and we slammed like, I don't know, 3 or 4 beers.
yeah.
I went to bed and I got up in the middle of the night, like 4 in the morning, and went out and looked at the wheels because I
Yeah.
thought for sure they were bent.
Yeah,
Because
it was
like,
rough.
It was that
rough riding.
Yeah.
It was pitch black dark.
had a cracked the windshield really bad.
Yep.
Going across
I
the
feel like
Mississippi.
Rick can't go to Texas and not replace a windshield.
That's probably true, man.
Oh, it's
it just happened again.
It seems like every time.
Yeah.
It
Rick's
just
like,
happened
I
again.
need a new windshield.
Yeah, I need a new windshield.
I cracked Teddy's for the first time on this trip to LST.
I was with you.
Yep, you sure were. I was like, could this?
We were
just
almost
get,
home.
I was like, could this get any worse?
We were in Georgia.
Yeah, we were like almost here, and it cracked. Big old nice one too. Well, those LST trips are really some of my favorite. I have a lot of memories with you because that's even before UBT stuff. You know, we were out there together hanging out before I knew that I wanted to do any kind of thing like this.
Yeah.
You know, me and Rick just burning up the roads. Even this past trip, you know, your truck going down and you having to ride home, and the suck that is riding in Teddy without heat and AC and no wipers, and it rained the entire time. And I mean, it's, you know, it can be rough.
One thing too is like, I thought it was cool. Like when we all went out, like the first couple years we all went out, like we came back and like, maybe I feel like we introduced Buc-ee's.
Oh, I think so.
Like to the
at
East
least
Coast kinda
to the
thing.
Southeast guys.
Yeah, we were,
yeah.
Like, and everybody's like, we're like, it's got 200 gas pumps. They're like, man, get out of here.
You're the only reason I knew about it, though. I remember him saying, and you probably do too, we got to stop by this Buc-ee's. It's in Baytown.
Yeah.
We got to stop by this place on the way out of here and see and I remember you telling me about all the pumps, and I thought, well,
He's
they just got a
exaggerating.
bunch of
Yeah, he's exaggerating.
He's exaggerating.
That's what
It's
everybody
just being
thinks.
run. You know, he's exaggerating a little bit. And there's transfer trucks. And then I remember the moment you were like, no, dude, they don't let transfer trucks come up in here. And I was like,
Yeah, there's no
what? These are
18-wheelers.
residential, you know, not commercial, just passenger vehicle pumps. And dude, I mean, I went in one the other day down in Auburn, and I mean, it is transfer trucks sitting out on the road out there, not going inside, or not coming in the parking lot. Yeah. And it just as busy as could be. Every single pump full of commercial or passenger vehicles, not commercial, but passenger vehicles. And one of the greatest things I've been introduced to, and I try to avoid them now on the weekends because they're just impossible to get in and out of.
The one up here in north here. Oh,
the one in Calhoun.
I won't even go in there anymore.
Yeah, it's rough.
You can get in here to get gas, and you can't get out.
Yeah, it's rough. But you did. You introduced me to Buc-ee's for sure. And that was from an LST trip.
I was blown away when I first saw it. I was like,
when did you first see one?
So the first year that we went out there, we stopped at one, and we were just like, I have a picture of it. I'll have to send it to you, and you can kind of put it out there.
Yeah.
But like this little grocery basket, you got poor little hungover Kevin, just looks terrible, and he's got like every electrolyte drink under the sun in this little cart.
I love it.
And it was like the same. That was like one of the same. I think that was the year we stopped there. Was the year that I had gotten Pecos.
Right.
Yeah. It
is.
Yes.
So, and I have the photo of it, and we were just like, we were just trying to recuperate.
Yeah.
And come back to life, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, y'all were tying them on heavy back then.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
We were. So I mean, it was insane. We had a great time, and it's like it's one of those things we joke around about it, and like every time we talk about it, I'm like, dude, everything's bigger in Texas.
It is.
Including the hangovers.
Including gas stations and hangovers. 100%. Yeah. I've been blown away by Buc-ee. I mean, it blew me away. And I mean, like I said, I'm still impressed by it. It's insane. It really is insane. And when I want some barbecue on the road, I know it's kind of weird, but that chopped brisket barbecue sandwich they have I think it's so good. Rick's a barbecue snob. He's not going to agree. Billet Will snob. Barbecue snob.
And shout out to Wes, too, because Wes is like, hey, man, have you guys checked out the bathroom in Buc-ee's?
Yeah, I mean,
like
clean as can be.
It's clean as a whistle.
Clean as can be.
So.
And the same every time. Yeah. So I think those are some of the great memories from LST trips. I mean, just some of the cool things that we've done. We all, had 10 people staying in the house, and we're all, adults with kids and married and real responsibilities and all that stuff. But when we go do those kinds of trips, it's like we're on vacation.
There was one of those trips to LST. You missed an incident that happened when I was riding behind Ron, and he almost somebody pulled right in front of him, and I thought you were wrecking the truck easily.
I did miss this. What happened?
Yeah, so this dude, I think I'll have to text him and see, but I think Kevin actually has a video of that. I think for some reason he had his phone out and he has a video of but this truck pulls in front of it. No, yeah, I think maybe Rick does.
I had my GoPro. I had a GoPro on the windshield.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, this pulls out in front of me, and I just had to do this move kind of thing. And I was I thought it was done, and I totally saved this thing, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you met us at the gas station right after, and we were all like, man, I can't believe you're alive.
Yeah. I can't believe you're still alive. Yeah, forget Pecos. We thought you were done.
Because it was on the way up, the exit that you get off at to go into
that's where we met
the
Robbie.
Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Because you ran a couple minutes behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
Dang. Well, glad you're all right.
Yeah.
Truck's all right.
I think I have to see if I can find it. I had that on a chip somewhere.
That would be rad. I'd love to see that. We should put together a LST collage one day of just all these cool moments.
I still have the first GoPro that you gave me.
Yeah, that 5.
I need to look on there and see.
I bet there's something amazing on it.
There's something cool on there.
Yeah, I bet there's something super amazing on that. Well, I think I want to jump into, speaking of Pecos and the K5, do a little truth behind some of the sold builds. We can't really bring Rick in on this one because he don't sell nothing. I for a long time didn't sell anything, and you didn't sell Pecos for a long time. But let's talk a little bit about why, how, what's the circumstances around Pecos leaving the TTR stable?
So,
and what year was it? Do you remember what year you sold that truck?
I'm not gonna lie, this bothered
me.
And
watch your hands on the table, Ron.
Sorry.
That's all good. But that just, you can put them on there. It just makes a little vibration.
It had to be 20. God, it had to be 21.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Something like that. So this is probably the first time anybody's really heard this. So there's a lot of baggage and a lot of emotion behind Pecos.
Yeah.
Things were really, life was just really crazy, and relationships were kind of on the rocks, and there was a lot of emotions tied to Pecos. just to be very transparent about it.
Yeah, man.
And I just, every time I got in it got to that point where every time I got in it, I was just, it made me feel a certain kind of way, and I just didn't care about it anymore, and I just didn't, and so it just came to a point where I was like, I may sell this thing.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't bring me the joy that it once did. And so I thought about it, and it's one of the reasons too why. Then one day I was headed home, and the transmission started acting up, and I was like, man, I don't know if I really want to deal with this thing. And so third gear messed up in it, and I don't ever talk to Pat about selling something if you don't actually really want to sell it, because Pat don't play.
Yeah.
And if
he'll make a move
if,
fast.
If the price is right, like, he's ready to go with money.
That's
kind
that
of thing.
Vegas in him.
Yeah, like, he's ready to wheel and deal. So it was like a Tuesday, and I talked to Pat, and I was like, hey man, I was like, I'm kind of tired of this truck. I think the transmission's going bad again, and or not again, because I'd had it rebuilt before we put it in. And
Anybody need a beer while Sarah's up?
no, I'm fine.
Okay, good. Cool.
So I reached out, and Pat's like, what do you want for it? So I just told him a number.
Yeah.
And Pat's like, okay, cool. He's like, where do you want me to send it? And I was like, no, like, I'm thinking about putting it out there like this. And Pat's like, no, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So this was like a Tuesday, I think.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, Pat's like, check your Venmo. And I'm like,
He just sent you a wad of cash.
so he just sent it.
Venmo.
He sent it. And I was like, okay, cool. I guess we really are doing this thing then, man.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, cool. I'll get it to work and all that stuff. And Friday morning at like 8:05, the shipper's here. He's like, I'm here to pick up a brown square body truck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Pat don't play.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the reasons, like, if you got something that's really cool that you want to sell and, like, the price is right, like,
He's a good person to talk
call
to for
Pat.
sure. Yeah.
If you're on the fence about selling something that's really cool and the price is right,
Don't call
Don't
Pat.
call Pat.
Because he might be buying it.
because Pat's going to push you over the edge and go, yeah, you want to sell it.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is things changed in life, and I kind of had a lot of, like, seller's remorse about selling
I was going
it.
to say, you got to miss this truck.
I miss it.
I miss that truck.
I miss that
what
truck.
we did in it and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And I guess it kind of leads into the next thing is that, like, I really, really, really wanted to lay that thing out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it was super cool. I wanted to lay it out.
One of the most solid, best patina, best color combo square bodies around. I mean, not that there aren't others in that same category, but I remember we used to gawk over this, over the way that patina polished out. I mean, it just had that perfect depth,
Yeah.
and it wasn't cleared. It wasn't it was just polished, original paint, and it was beautiful.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah. Oh, man,
And
it was
the,
so good.
so,
And hold on real quick before you go any farther. Remind people at home, just for those who don't know what that truck was. It was an
84.
84 GMC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that really unique
Indian
front.
bronze.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Indian bronze.
Indian bronze. It was all power interior, cruise control.
Yeah, that light tan interior. So like an unusual.
And a lot of people don't know too is Clay told me, and he's telling us about it. It was actually a junkyard delivery truck.
No kidding.
Like, there was a local wrecking yard who would, like, deliver parts, and they would put them in the back. But the interior
Dude, this thing was about as
mint.
straight as could be,
Yeah,
too.
the interior was mint.
Yeah, it was.
So with that being said, like, I missed the truck. The kids have talked about it. Hey, I miss this truck, and like, I'll see like memories pop up of like the kids riding in it and stuff like that.
I still have stuff pop up from when we did that list swap in it. And
So-
just being like, yeah, I mean, all of us were up there. Alex,
Yeah.
Rick, everybody. I mean, we all, at some point, were up there working on that truck with you, which was so much fun.
And it's weird how things worked out with that truck. So it turns out I had an HD truck with 6.0 two-wheel drive 4L80 in it.
Yep, that white one.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'd actually got rear-ended in that.
Yep.
And turns out, so me and Alex talked a while past that, and Alex is like, were you like on this road, like Queen City Parkway and this road? I was like, yeah, that's where I got hit at. And he's like, I ran that call. And I was like,
as a fireman.
as a fireman.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about it, and I said, well, if that wreck had happened like a week earlier, Pecos would have had a 604 L80 in it. Because I had already pulled the motor and transmission out of that Yukon that I bought.
Oh, yeah.
So if that wreck had happened
that.
earlier.
I forgot about that, too.
Yeah, if the wreck had happened earlier, I would have just kept the Yukon, and I would have pulled everything out of the HD.
Was the Yukon, I know it ran, but did it drive, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I paid $750 for that from our detailer at work.
God, what a smoking deal.
And then I turned around and sold the body to a guy in, like, Cartersville.
Yeah.
He had a Suburban that was the same color, but his interior was wrecked, and this thing had pretty good interior in it.
Yeah.
He bought the whole truck for $400. So I had $350 in the motor and trans.
Yeah, and a good running motor and trans, too. Yep.
But so I kind of got the hankering late last year to do another one. So I have, not many people have seen it, and I know people are probably going to ask me to send it to them and this and that, but there's a rendering of Pecos on the Boyd Coddington wheels
I've seen
that
it.
we talked about. A lot of people have seen it.
It's a bad man.
It's a bad man. There's a rendering of it. I just hung it up in my shop last week. There's a big frame rendering, about the size of that, big frame rendering, and it's right beside my toolbox, and I'm like, I got to build that. Like, after the blue truck, I got to build that.
Yeah.
So I searched and searched and searched, and I found one. I found an 84 cab. It's the same color, and I bought the cab for $300.
I forgot you did that. I remember you. So you did end up buying it.
So yeah, I bought the cab. I gotta go. At some point, I'm like you. Like, I bought it. I'm like, I gotta get out there and go get it before the guy's like, I'll sell it again.
Yeah.
You know? But the guy knew who I was.
That's cool.
And so I told him, I said, I want to build another one.
Yeah.
So I do have a cab to do a Pecos 2.0.
Yeah, I love it. Well, the truck means a lot to me. I'm sure that truck's still running around in great hands.
He's living his best life back in Texas.
Yeah, I'm sure that truck is doing great things. Bad truck, bad to the bone. I loved it. It has just an awesome place in UBT history.
I saw the guy who bought it. So Pat, I think, either sold it to or sold it for Texas Street Cars.
Yep. And that's Garland and Jason. Is that right? Yeah.
I think the new owner, his name is Jason also. He lives in Texas. Well, I saw so they had the truck in his son's wedding.
Oh, right on.
So the truck Pecos is on 22s now.
Yeah.
He's got tinted windows. Like, he's come up in the world, man. He's doing good.
He's
living a good life. Yeah.
Well, my story about the Blazer, which I have not really put very much out about either, is nowhere near as emotional or has as much depth as your story about Pecos. But I got fed up with the Blazer. It needed a couple things like vintage air. We needed it's always air that really, I get to that point and I'm like, I don't really want to spend the money to put it in here. But
you've never had it, but you're like, I got to put this in here.
Yeah. And now I'm like, I got to put this in the next thing. Like, Teddy's going to get it. I'm getting too old. I can't deal with no heat, no AC.
Trip home from LST was rough.
Yeah, it was rough. Just can't do it anymore.
Rick's
The trip there was the worst.
Oh yeah, I don't know how you did
remember
that.
it was 1922 when we left, or whatever it was, 19 to 20 degrees.
Rick's like, here's $5, get your AC fixed.
Yeah, dude. The Blazer got to a point where it needed a couple things, and as much as like color combo and the way we did things on it, it was UBT, but I felt like it was my personality, but I think at that time I'd probably already seen, I had Teddy, already had my granddad's patina blue 68. That's the long bed, isn't it? Oh, I love that truck.
Yeah,
it's getting a little something later this year too, but I think I'd already seen mud or maybe even bought mud, and I was just really wanting something that was a little older and had a whole heck of a lot more patina. And at the time, I wanted something that I could tow with a little bit more. And Aaron White, who is a friend of Churchill and Wesley and Mike's and lives over in Hiram area and has become a good friend of mine. Super good dude, always has some really great stuff, classics and newer stuff. Showed up at the shop one day in this regular cab, long bed, 4-wheel drive, 3/4 ton Duramax diesel truck, all the options, not a work truck kind of thing. And it was super low mile. I think I had like 100, well, not super low mile, but low mile. I had like 100,000 miles on it, something like that. And I fell in love with that truck. And I, at that time, was like, I could really use a truck like this to tow stuff with and just, use as a daily buzz around in. I was already disenchanted with the Blazer a little bit. And we ended up doing a trade on it. We worked out a trade for the Duramax for the Blazer. And all that really, and so Aaron got the Blazer and took it and, put vintage air in it, put Porterbuilt control arms up front, which fixed a lot of the issues that I was a little irritated with. It had some other control arms on them, and we could never really get the camber right. And it turns out that one of the control arms was narrowed, or one set of the I think it was the lowers were narrowed and the uppers were not. And that was ultimately the problem.
Yeah,
so
got sent the wrong thing.
Yeah, got sent the wrong thing. And so Aaron ends up, fixing all that and making it a really nice driver. Drove it to a couple shows, and then I think he sold it to a guy named Ryan Oswalt, who is a classic truck and car dealer over in Huntsville. But that guy took it to a whole nother level and made it a really nice, like super nice vehicle. And I think he just recently sold it. But he changed the bumpers, put chrome bumpers on it, tinted the windows and the top, put all new seals in the top.
Changed the motor.
Yeah.
Put chrome trim around the windows and the top. Yeah, he took the 5.3 out that had no miles on it hardly. I mean, basically brand new.
Yeah, it was a Gen 4. I mean, that motor
nice.
was nice.
6L80.
Yeah, because we drove the truck.
Yes, remember we cut it out.
Yeah,
out at John's. We cut the dang thing out. But it had a 6L80 in it. I mean, just a really great driver. 342, so set up just like a factory truck that it came out of. But took it and made it a really, really cool rig. And like I said, I think he just recently sold it. So for those who are asking about the Blazer, that's the story. It ain't sexy. It was just kind of one of those. I'm tired of this, and necessity. Yeah.
And I'm like, it's gone.
Yeah, been gone since like 22. The early 22.
It's been gone for a while.
It's been gone for a long time.
And really, when I saw that single cab, that Duramax, that
LMM.
That's what made me want to find mine.
Yeah.
So then when I had the dually, the guy approached me and he's like, "Do you want to trade?" And I was like,
I know me and you got Duramax fever there for a second.
I said, "Well, what do you have?" And he was like, "Well, I have a single cab 07 LBZ." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "I'll add cash to it." And I was like, Let's put this thing together.
Yeah, I do miss your little dually though.
The dually was a bad.
You didn't have that long either though.
Listen,
you didn't have that long, but you did the right things to it.
So I'll tell you the funniest thing about the dually is
you gotta tell everybody at home what you're talking about though. What year? What dually was it?
So the red dually was a '95 big block truck, and me and Zach went to
Huckleberry.
Yeah, yep. Huckleberry went out there in this snowstorm. They were talking about Atlanta was going to get hit with all this snow, and so we left the night before and actually stayed in a hotel before we went to meet this guy.
Yeah.
And so real quick, but I got there and the truck was okay. It wasn't what it appeared to be.
They always are.
They always are. I reached
out. The interior was a little rough.
Yeah.
And this is another Pat thing, okay? If you're on the fence, don't call Pat. You don't call Pat.
Yeah.
So I reach out to Pat, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm standing here looking at this 95 red single cab dually. The seat in it is wrong. The dash in it is fiberglassed over.
Yeah, an old mini truck.
And all this stuff, And I was like, but it's a big block 4L80 truck, peanut port heads, though. So it's kind of, man.
Yeah.
Pat goes, "What does he want for it?" I was like, "This guy wants $5,000, won't come off of it." And Pat goes, "Are you still there?" I was like, "Well, yeah, of course I'm still here." He goes, "All right, tell the guy I'm about to send you the money. Give him your cash. I'm about to send you the $5." And I was like, "No, I'm trying to buy this thing, man."
Yeah.
So of course, sometimes you just got to be the big swinger. And so I
What's
went.
it tell you every time? Sack up.
Yeah, I had to sack up, and so I was like, "All right." So I bought it, and of course, immediately reached out and I was like, "Pat, I want to." This was after Pecos was gone, so I had some play money.
Yeah.
And so I ordered wheels, but at the time I still.
Yeah, you bought a $5,000 truck and put a $5,000 set of wheels on it.
I think they were more than that.
Or more than that. Okay.
Yeah. So
they were definitely worth more than the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But they made that truck.
But
man.
at the time,
Yeah,
though, the
good.
funny thing is, I still worked with my dad,
Yeah.
and so when they were coming freight, I was like, "Hey, my wheels are coming today." Dad's like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Okay, cool, let's check them out." And so I had to be 36, 37.
Yeah.
I lied my butt off to my dad. The dude dropped them off the truck, and we're opening them up. Dad's like, "How much are those?" I'm like, man, yeah, these are pretty cheap. You know, they're like $3,500. He's like, $3,500 for wheels? That's insane. Why would you do that? I'm like,
look at these things.
I'm like, I can't believe you think these are $3,500.
Yeah, like $6,500.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
So I'm that old and still lied to my parents about spending.
Trucks
money.
are worth it.
Yeah, my dad's like, and now my dad has a dually. He's got a 23, and I'm like, what do you think about putting dually wheels on that thing? He's like, I don't want to mess with it.
I don't want to spend $3,500. What he's thinking. It'd really be $7,000.
Yeah, I'm like, $3,500 won't even get you the
It won't even do it. Hey, Sarah, would you mind handing me the show list that's on the edge of my desk? I forgot to bring it in here. Just untape that. I want to get into talking about a little bit of events. And it's because we got a special guest in here, and y'all all know him as Rick or Old Man Cheeseman or SQRBDY, but this is Mr. C10's in the city. So we got to talk a little bit about the show that's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, it's May 3rd.
Yeah.
It's grown significantly.
Yeah. Are you feeling the love, feeling the attention right now?
Yeah. I mean, I was actually on TV today at Fox, or no.
11
Alive this morning talking about the show, which is pretty cool. I mean, Sarah is a huge part of this, if not most of it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? She's the brains that makes everything work. But, yeah, it's the amount of vendors and stuff that are reaching out now is way different.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, I don't have to chase any anymore. Like, you know, used to like, hey, man, come on out.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard, you know. But I think, you know, I mean, you're a big part of this too. Like the way we started this thing, you know, like, oh, let's go down to East Atlanta Village and
do some C10s in the city.
We're going to call this thing C10s in the city.
Yeah.
And then I remember the first time we did it, you're like, well, how often we can do this? I'm like, I don't know. We'll do this 3-4 times a year.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
We did the 1 year we did two, and that was too much.
When was that first year?
2021.
2021.
Because we put it off a year.
Yeah, because I had the dually. Because I was hoping to get my wheels. But they got pushed back on delivery. So I drove it down on the stock wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we pushed it out. We'd been talking about it the year before, and then
you've been talking about doing something like this for a long time. I mean, like this was your brainchild. Nobody else was saying, I want to do this in the city kind of thing.
Right, for sure. Because, you know, it was one of those things where we'd seen all these C10s in the city for years, and you don't see them at any of the places, any events that we go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're like,
yeah, you mean like actual trucks riding around the city?
I'm like, they're here.
That weren't going to other events.
We just got to pull them up, you know, pull them in kind of thing. And it's been great. I mean, it's been fun. We had, almost 500 trucks the last one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're going to have a lot more than that.
There's more than that registered this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's one of those, you know, like you don't have to register. We prefer it so we can help with, you know, because obviously it's a free show for like, you know, porta potties and stuff like that. And so
goodie bags.
Yes, totally. Which I have your decals. Do you see those? Okay. So you've already got 500 pre-registered, and you don't even have to register.
Yeah.
We've got some big news with special guests coming. Yeah. Can I say that, or you want me to say it? You got Vice Grip Garage, Derek Berry coming from Vice Grip Garage. You got Kevin Tates from Paintucation. Yep. They're coming along. They're unveiling this OBS that they've built.
Yeah, Auto Metal
truck. Auto Metal Direct is hugely involved in all of this.
They are.
It's going to be an event.
This show, wouldn't be possible without Auto Metal Direct. The stuff
no doubt.
Jason Chandler, man, the stuff that this dude does is that dude works really hard, and he's really good at what he does.
And he's just a really nice guy.
Man, the guy's rad.
Super nice
Just
guy.
an incredible guy.
Yeah.
We're going to have a little Jason Chandler love fest up in here for a minute.
I mean, it's easy to do.
It is easy to do. He's such a nice guy.
He's one of those guys you don't say no to. Like,
he doesn't.
Nice, and you're like,
if I'm gonna, you know, he doesn't really say no to us.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows how to, like, we're friends, but he also understands the business side of things too. And
I mean, what he's done for AMD is incredible too.
Totally.
I mean, he's changed that business, I think.
Totally.
You know, so
he
deserves it. You know, all the love he gets, he deserves. In my opinion.
Well, and I think he's putting in a lot of hard work for your show.
Oh,
and
man,
I'm super pumped about it. I can't wait. I've heard from people all over the country, and especially a lot more enthusiasm from folks coming from the Southeast.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've heard from people all over the place coming. I heard from somebody from Florida today.
I mean, I feel like, you know, before this, like you and I have talked about this. There was like SCTN, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
for Southeast stuff,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we've changed that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It is these last 5 years in this whole world, the truck community, the classic truck community has been, I think that's even one of these questions we have on Ask the Crew. So we'll touch on that here in a minute.
And when I say we, I mean UBT, C10 City, all that stuff. You know,
man.
like
totally.
I'll tell you, like, one of my things about C10s in the city, man, is like, even if you don't care a lot about trucks, like, this is like kind of directed more towards the spouses. If your spouse is even remotely listening, turn up the volume a little bit more.
Yeah.
There is a ton of shopping and a ton of food around this area, and they've just added more and more every year.
Yeah.
So even if like your husband or something, or your son or whatever is like, or your boyfriend or fiance is like, well, I like trucks, and you're like, yeah, whatever, go ahead. No, you want to go with him.
Yeah.
Because there is a ton of stuff in that area.
Yeah, you can go make a pass at the show with your significant other and then go hang out anywhere you want down there.
Get a golf cart ride down to the street.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to walk. There's a golf cart. There's a shuttle service.
Yeah.
I mean, there's food. There's shopping. There's all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah, man.
One of the things that's been hard to get past for some people, like, they keep picturing Atlanta 30 years ago because that's, you know, when they went down there as a kid or whatever. It's
or even when they went to see a Braves game in the 90s.
Right,
even.
And it's not that way anymore. Yeah, it's not that way anymore.
There's
especially
a lot of
right there.
Pumped into that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is last year the old parking lot, we park in the old parking lot that we used before. Well, the townhouses across there, I saw like 3 police cars of it. So there's officers who live in that neighborhood.
Yeah, there's plenty of folks.
There's not going to be
around.
You have nothing to worry about.
They've been the neighborhood's been really good to us. We go to their meetings that they have to just to make sure they're still cool with everything, make sure we're doing everything that
they want you to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And they've been great.
Shout out to Summer Hill too. Which Summer Hill is the area that we're talking about that has all the restaurants.
It's right there underneath the rings, the Olympic rings, and the cauldron. It's cool. Yeah, it's a cool spot. I think, man, I love it.
Me too, man. I'm pumped about it. So that's the next thing that's coming up.
We're gonna be there this year.
C10's in the city. What'd you say?
We'll be there.
Oh yeah, we gonna be there.
No, I'm gonna be there.
Well, of course you're gonna be there.
No, I'm gonna have a booth.
Oh.
Yeah.
What kind of little booth?
Oh yeah,
we haven't talked about this, Ron. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Have you approved this when Mr. C10's in the city?
Absolutely.
What's your booth?
It's RF Fabworks, man. We're bringing there's a cab that we've been working on for a guy at work. It's got some really cool stuff on it. It's got a bunch of auto metal, direct sheet metal in it.
Nice.
Floors, doors. It's got slosh tubs in it.
Yeah.
It's got Delmo handles, dude. These handles are
I know they are sick. They look awesome.
Slosh tubs will be at the show.
Yeah.
Coming all the way from Arkansas.
I know. I love it.
So,
yeah.
This will be the first show that RF Fabworks has a booth set up at.
So what is RF Fabworks?
So
give everybody at home a 30-second pitch.
It's just passion, man. It's built out of passion. It's what I love to do, man. I like to just see stuff cool again, make stuff, fabricate, body work, just from the ground floor, man. We're just gonna see where it goes, see where it takes us, kind of thing.
I love it. We used to always call you the resident cut man.
Yeah,
you ain't afraid to cut nothing.
No, I'm not afraid to cut or weld now. I've done all kinds of stuff.
So you got to put it back now.
Yeah, you got to put it back together now.
Yeah, this truck even has welded in. So I did the Altman Easy Latches on yours.
Oh yeah,
these ones are welded in.
Very cool.
So it's I've got one guy right now. I'm doing his truck. I've talked to a couple other guys about doing theirs. So
that's cool.
Just gonna see where it goes, man. I want to be. I want to follow in the footsteps of some other guys, man. Like I want to get to the point where, like my name's on the side of it, and I'm the guy in charge, man.
I love it. Well, congratulations, man. Let's do it.
Rick decided to give me the chance to have it at the show, so I'm gonna.
I love it.
It'll be super simple, come by, say hey, check everything out, but we'll see where it takes us, man.
We got a couple first timers as far as setting up a booth. Buddy Garage also. Yeah. He's going to do his first event as far as like having a merch tent and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Is Travis from Simple C10's going to be there as well, right?
I'm excited to meet him.
He's a cool dude, man.
He is a cool dude.
I'm excited to meet him.
Yeah, he's going to do the podcast on Friday before, actually.
Because we've talked before, and we're very like 2-car garage guys. Like,
he's
really.
Oh yeah.
And like my shop,
he for sure is.
I don't have a massive shop. I think my shop is 30 by 30 behind my house. Like it's not super huge, but I just want to crank it, and he's doing the same thing.
He's doing
it
for sure. He's got a sweet setup. That dude's got efficiency on his side. Like that's his goal.
Yeah,
he knows.
Well, y'all got to do that early. You got to come down.
Oh, we're coming to C10 City Nights.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. 3
All right.
taverns in Decatur.
I took that Friday off.
I'm shooting a What's in My Driveway that morning with John Mike. I'm doing
There
a
you go.
podcast at 2 o'clock with Travis, and then we're coming to
Awesome.
C10 City Nights at 3 taverns at 6.
Cool.
And we'll be there till 9.
Let me tell you, speaking of John Mike, that like 64, 65, 66 that he bought.
I know, man. He sent it to me. He's like, I just had to buy it. We'll have to talk. We'll have to tell. I'm gonna get John Mike to tell folks about that another time.
That's a sweet ride.
Well, we're gonna do Ask the Crew. So let's reset here for a minute. We do have a couple shows. Like we're actually, let me run through this real quick. So C10's in the city. Next thing we're doing, I'm doing C10 Nationals in Dallas. That's at Texas Motor Speedway, May 9th and 10th. And then we'll be doing Southeastern Truck Nationals. And then I'm trying to do Midwest Truck Nationals in Richmond, Indiana at the end of July. That's I'm probably 70-30 on being able to do that. And then we got GM Truck Fair, which is an AMD Harrison Rod Shop show in late August. I think actually that's mid-August, August 15th and 16th in Greenville, Tennessee. And then we got C10 Nationals Nashville. That's October 3rd and 4th. You'll be going to that one, won't you, Rick?
I'm going all of them except for that Midwest one.
Yeah, the Midwest one. Ron will be popping in and out of him. You're a little more last minute than everybody else.
Yeah, I'm like
He's
that.
like, I'll be there, and then don't go. And then he'll be like, I ain't going. And I'm like, where'd you come from?
Yeah,
Here you are.
I've become important at work, and it's ruining my life.
I'll take that. Ruining your life and bettering your life, Ron.
It's a means to an end. Like it's the stepping stone.
I love it. And then we got a couple things in mid-October, Davo Customs block party, and then Show Me Shindig out at Cody Garber's place out in Missouri. And then C10 Fall Revival, one of my favorites of the year.
Absolutely.
That's in Denton, North Carolina, October 17th and 18th. And then I'm doing a Truck Fest event here in Atlanta, October 24th and 25th, and that's put on by the C10 Nationals team. So pretty packed year. You got other shows you going to this year, Rick, that I didn't mention?
No, I think you mentioned them all.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I always
We've already done a few.
I know you've done more than I have. You did the Resurrection recently?
Yeah, we did C10s After Dark.
Yeah, which
That
was
was great.
Colin
C10s
and
After Dark
Kyle
was
and Matt
a
was-
blast,
was
man.
Colin Matt's thing. You did that, yeah.
We ended up going up there, took the fam up there, took the kids, all that stuff. Alex and Emily went up.
Right on, man.
So we did all that. It was a good time, man.
I'm going to be there next year.
There was a ton of trucks, man. That was a good.
It seemed like a good crew, just like a good crew of people, too.
Then we did Parking Lot Beers and Pizza.
Parking lot beers and pizzas was a good time, man.
Yep.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah,
Love
was
it.
a good time.
So show season's going to be heavy. Let's reset, and then we're going to jump in on Ask the Crew.
I tentatively.
Oh, you got something else to say?
Ron's always got something to say.
I have it on my calendar. I would like to drive the blue truck to Fall Revival.
Oh, man, that would be sweet.
It's marked on the calendar.
You just set it on Mike.
I know.
Hey, you did. You just told all these people.
I know I've said before that I don't like deadlines and I don't like pushing and I don't like all that stuff.
That's the only way I can
But
get anything
it's
done.
on the calendar. I'd like to try to.
Do it.
We'll see.
At least take it on a trailer. If it don't run yet.
I'm just not a trailer guy.
I know. I hate it, too, but sometimes it's a necessity.
I'm just not a trailer guy.
Okay, let's reset, and we're going to do Ask the Crew.
Okay.
This is Ask the Crew. And so basically what I did is I went on Instagram and Facebook and just solicited a few questions. We've got 13 here. I don't know that we're going to get to all of them. The first couple are kind of funny anyway.
Yeah, some have been answered, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. The first one is from Doug Evans, and he says, will this count as recess for Ron because he admitted that he don't play? He quit school because of recess.
This is serious business.
This is serious business right here.
This is serious as you'll ever see me right here.
Oh, and so we're done with number one. Number two, Driven Lifestyle on Instagram. Actually, wait, where's the other one? There's supposed to be another one here.
Well, you're the guy
Oh,
who
actually,
turns
number
the
two. I know you're right. Number two. I'm gonna come back to the actual number two, and I'm gonna make number three number two. BMS built, which is Paul Bigelow. He wants to know what beard oil does SQRBDY use on that fine beard.
You know, I kind of dabble in a few.
Do you actually use beard oil?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
I think that's
I don't-
respectable.
My barber tells me I need to use it every day. I tells everybody to use it, but I kind of every couple of days kind of thing.
You got a brand you're using right now that you can think of?
No, I can't remember the name. There's one, I know the set is called Wingman.
Yeah.
I like that one.
All right, sweet. Wingman.
That's all I got, Paul.
There you go, Paul Bigelow is your answer.
You know you're serious about your beard when you got a barber for it.
I mean, I got a barber for mine too, though.
Hey.
Even mine ain't even like Rick's.
Hey, you're looking at the barber on mine.
I know you got a baby face over there for sure with that fireman stash. All right, so now we're gonna go to number 3, Driven Lifestyle over on Instagram. He wants to know if Two Trucks Ron, how fast can he swap a 1990 Honda Civic engine? Do you know this guy?
Yeah, it's my buddy Brandon, man. We grew up together.
Yeah.
So he's he's older than me, but I went to school with him and his brother.
Yeah.
It turns out our dads actually work together too.
Nice.
His dad's a painter, my dad's a body guy.
Yeah. Y'all swapped a Honda Civic engine before?
So I used to get really bored at home, and I would just like randomly pull the motor out of my old Honda and then put it right back in. So I can do it pretty fast.
That's good. Yeah, I bet you can.
I can go pretty fast.
That's one way to learn for sure. All right, we're gonna.
I think
move.
you and Kelvin should race as far as changing the motor out.
Yeah, y'all could probably.
You don't want to race them.
Kelvin's got a no. He's got a lift. He'll probably beat me.
Oh, those little engines are small though. They're like you can almost bear hug them out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're pretty tiny.
Yeah. Jeff Dillard on Instagram. This is a pretty serious question. Or excuse me, on Facebook. Wants to know what our favorite year Chevrolet GMC truck is and why. And I'll start with you, Ron. What's your favorite year Chevrolet or GMC truck and why?
I think if I had to just pick like one altogether,
Yeah.
I'm an NBS guy.
Yeah.
I'm an NBS guy.
You just made a lot of people happy at
You
home.
and Matt Cooper, same thing. I think.
Yeah, I'm a very big NBS. I mean, I think maybe that's because it was like the first like full size truck that I had.
Yes. Me too, actually. Well,
mine was OBS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because I'm old.
And if I had to pick,
you drove it when you were 16, right?
There's a lot of people who would say like cat. I'm not a cat eye. I'm not a cat eye guy.
Yeah, I'm not there. I don't like them as much either.
I am against cat eye.
Yeah,
you are anti-cat.
I am. I don't know why. If we're asking, I feel like they changed that front end and did nothing with the rest of it, and it doesn't match to me.
Yeah,
it's
fair.
Well, so I'm with Rick on the 03, 05 front ends, 03, 04, 05 front ends. They're weird. 06, 07,
the GMC, though,
when they changed the hood, it looks way better.
So what is your favorite year? You got to nail down a year. Is it 99, 2000? Like what's?
Give me a 99, 2000, 01, 02, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I want the HD front.
Yeah.
Just that hood, that grill, that bumper cutout. That's the sweet spot for me.
If I had to pick an MBS, it's got to be a GMC. I just love the GMC front ends.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a 01 GMC regular cab, short bed, 5.3. Thing was awesome. Wish I still had that truck back. So MBS for you.
Yeah.
What about you?
Probably a square butt. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course.
Yeah, so like I got
you put your whole brand about
it. I was kidding. Yeah, I got this question today on 11 Alive.
Oh yeah, right.
And I like for me like a dream truck still is a 77 crew cab, black and white two-tone dually.
Yes. What was is it Finish Line Dave or somebody that has one?
It's not crew cab, but that's,
his is the regular cab with
it's
the
also
Duramax.
Duramax.
Right? Yeah. That
thing
thing.
is
Whoa.
sick.
That thing's sick. Probably no surprise to either of you, but I'm gonna say 67. C10 for me.
I think if I had to pick an action line year, I like the 67. But I'm a small back window guy.
Me too. I like them with small back window.
That's what mine was too.
Your red one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 67, and the reason is I like the no side markers. I like the small back window. They have some other unique things like the vent window handles are different. The ignition bezel is different. Just a really unique truck, and that was the first C10 I ever owned when I was 18. I bought a 67 C10 step side. Silver Poly 523 paint code for all you nerds out there. John Mike Pacifico, our dear friend and UBT Media client, he wants to know over on Facebook, what was the story on this truck back in the early days? And he has posted a picture of the truck that John Padgett, our old friend who used to be on the channel, bought from Ron back early on the channel.
Yeah.
And this truck actually has a pretty cool story, but very quickly, what is the story on this truck in this picture? And you kind of explain what it is.
Is it missing the door skins?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no door skins.
So those fenders are the ones that I bought from you.
Yep. The front fenders.
Those bedsides. So.
And this is a 67 small back window truck we're looking at.
Yeah, those bedsides I actually ended up buying from Chaz. That's the first time I met Chaz.
Right on.
I bought that bed from him because he kept the chassis and all that stuff for that Betty Jean truck that he built.
Yes, the blue one.
So because it was like a project truck that had an all new sheet metal on it, but he was only going to keep the chassis. And so
I remember that. I had the chance to buy that.
Yeah, so I ended up buying the bedsides from him for that. And that truck was super cool. It went through a lot of changes. It went from a static drop to it was like a mild airbag thing. And then, I just kind of got to the point where I just wanted to try out something else. And I really wanted something that would run and drive and I could go kick it with you guys at shows and stuff.
That's the key, man.
And so I ended up selling that, and I bought that Silver Square.
And these wheels and tires ended up being on Teddy for a little while. Yeah. So, and that was actually a UBT video. Yeah. It's on there. So that's cool. Rick Blaine over on Facebook, he says, if you had a friend who used to have a C10 and then sold it and built a badass station wagon, which it is bad.
It's a rowdy wagon.
It's a rowdy wagon. Would he still get invited to the local truck club backyard barbecue? I don't know if he would over here in Georgia, but he definitely does over there at the Dollar Barbecue in Texas. He still gets to go.
I think if he shows up with, a 24-pack,
you let him in?
I'd let him in.
Yeah.
I'd let him
well,
in.
Ben Dollar lets him in.
A station wagon will hold a lot of cool beers in the back.
That's true. That's true. I say if Ben Dollar will let him in, I'd let him in.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Rick. Todd Snyder over on Facebook. What's your thoughts on the truck scene in the Southeast and overall? Rick, I bet you got a lot of thoughts on this.
Well, I think we touched on it a little bit.
Yeah. I would say it's much stronger in the last 5 years in the Southeast and overall than it was. I think that it started out really strong in the West, and we had maybe a handful of key shows in the Southeast. One in particular, Southeastern Truck Nationals. You could probably throw Battle in Bama in there as well in some way, even though they have a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
But more C10 specific shows. Southeastern Truck Nationals was the king here.
The addition of C10 Nationals has been huge to me too.
Yeah, C10 Nationals is huge now. Your show is growing, Rick. There's a lot of great shows in the Southeast, and I think overall, just the scene we've all gone together. There's been some little, tiffs and stuff, with folks who are putting these shows together and throwing these shows, but I think all tides rise, or I can't remember the saying, all boats rise with the rising tide, or whatever it is. But we've all gone up together, all these folks who love classic trucks, love this community, out there throwing shows and and attending shows. We've all gone together. Yep. We're all going up. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah. I think you touched on all of it. I love what it's turned into.
Me too.
A
lot of options.
Yeah, and especially with us being here in this area, like we can kind of get places pretty quickly.
Yeah, we can.
As far as where we're located in the country.
Yep.
Like even Florida they're trying to do it. We did a show down there earlier this year.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get that going down there.
C10's in the swamp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's Wayne.
Unique name.
He'll be at the show this year. He won the green egg. He's the one who won the big green egg last year.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing you can win at the raffle, at the C10s in the City raffle.
There's some rad stuff in the raffle.
Yeah. You got anything off the top of your head you want to say?
There's a whole like bedwood kit.
Yeah.
I know there's some other stuff to go with that.
Yeah.
There's some cool cornhole boards.
Son, we all love cornhole.
There's some cool stuff. AMD's got a lot of rad stuff they're bringing. They haven't let me know all that stuff yet. I think they're kind of keeping it a surprise.
Yeah. So come to C10s in the City and find out.
Yeah. There's always good stuff. I mean, last year there was a whole dash setup with gauges and everything.
Yeah. That's
and
so cool.
And a whole square body molding kit.
Yeah.
Like the
side trim.
Yeah, the side trim. Mark K no longer around.
Come get you an AMD one.
AMD's got a really nice piece there.
Yeah, they do.
I'm doing cups again this year, so
come
get you a cup.
Yeah, so the cups will be one of those things where you hear your truck number, your registration number, and you get a
RF Fabworks cup.
You get a C10s in the City cup.
C10s in the City cup.
That's right.
C10s in the City cup.
Yeah, very cool.
He's painting them and stuff. So
right on, Ron. I forgot about that. Man, I can't keep up with all this stuff. Felix Rogue over on Facebook. My question is, he starts, everyone has lowered action line, square body, and OBS trucks. I'm building a 78 K10 short bed like Patrick Gibellina's truck. Are any of you doing the same? Robbie, do you have plans for Smokey? Can we get more 4x4 footage? I do have a 67 K20 that I want to do a couple things to and do it on the channel and drive it. It won't be a full rebuild or anything like that. I'd love to build a action line or 6772 short bed K10. I don't own one, nor do I have the funds for one of those. They're very expensive.
They are.
But yeah, I would love to do more 4x4 stuff on the channel. Smokey is going to get the love one day. Currently, this sucker, as much as it had been driving up and down the road and just doing great, it won't even turn over right now for some reason.
We got a 4x4 in the fleet.
Yeah. You got the K5.
Yep.
Yep.
We got 87 K5.
And that's definitely been on the channel.
Yep.
But it's definitely all over your socials.
I have some thoughts for that truck too at some point that are kind of cool. I think we'll see if we can get to that.
They include
at some
some
point.
really wide wheels.
They do.
Alex has got a $1 long bed K20. I think it's a K20, a long bed K20 that he's got stashed away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it a square body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a 76, 77, something like that.
Yeah, we need to get the 4x4s out.
Paid $1 for it.
So Felix, we want to. We've got some stuff in the works for that. Brett Barnes, what non-GM trucks are your favorites or want to add to the collection? Let's buzz through these pretty quickly. I'm going to say I wish I had my unibody F100 back that I sold to Tim at Best Damn Shop Around. I wish I still had that truck.
They'll be at the show too.
Yeah, they sure will. I'd like to have that truck back specifically or another unibody F100. What about you, Ron?
If there's one I could have back, it would be...
Or just anyone you'd want to have in the fleet. Non-GM.
One I could have back, I would say my dad's hard body that I bought from him.
Oh, like a Nissan hard
yeah,
body?
he bought it new, and I had it from him for a little while. But if there's one that like I definitely want to have in the fleet, I'd like to have an Isuzu Space Cab.
That'd be cool.
I'd love to have a Space Cab.
That's cool.
Those are so cool.
What about you, Rick?
I'm struggling here.
No, non-GM. Can't come up with something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love the 67 F100s.
Yeah.
When they're low, they look good, man.
They look real good.
I do like those trucks.
Me too.
I'm not going to tell Solomon, but I do like them.
Yeah, we don't have... He's not listening to this anyway. Brent Washington. Ron, what's the story with Pecos? We covered that one early on. You got the down and dirty lowdown on that one.
Yeah, you got the low.
Adam Stark. This is a cool guy. His wife actually helps us a lot with our embroidery. What is one upgrade or replacement on a build that you didn't initially plan on spending the money on, but once you did, can't do another build without? This is one that I've been struggling with because it's expensive stuff, but I have, since we built Mud, it's one I feel like on a full build I can't live without, and it's brakes. And it's big brakes, good brakes. It's expensive. They're awesome, but man, it's just a hard thing to put in the budget.
You need to spend money on air conditioning.
Yeah.
Heat.
Yeah, I know. Ronson over here shaking his head too.
I was driving and I saw his question and I was like, okay, cool. And I immediately thought of my answer.
What is it?
You'll never guess, but torque converter.
Oh yeah, having a good converter.
Once you have an aftermarket converter, and even Alex will tell you that like stock vehicles that he tunes could even benefit from a little more converter than the factory.
Yeah.
And like once you have one,
change your life.
I don't know that if I'm doing a full on like swap and everything, I don't know that I don't want to have one.
Yeah. I love the one in Teddy.
Yeah.
That Circle D.
Exactly.
With a cam, stage 2 cam. It's perfect.
Yep.
What about you, Rick?
I want to have the heat and air. I do. That's for me. That's the travel. As much as we travel in these trucks, that's
year-round travel too.
I mean, that's what I want.
Yeah, I know I need that too.
Yeah,
I need that. I need that more than brakes. What am I talking about? Low static drop or bags, and then I want to read this real quick. Tell Rick he's partially responsible for me buying this '86 Suburban to build. Been wanting one for a while, and then we posted the video of Rick getting his new Burb a few weeks ago. And he says, while watching that episode, and I forgot this guy's name on here. I'm sorry about that, bud. He said, while watching the episode, I looked over at my wife and said, I'm going to build a Suburban next. Hauled this super solid only surface rust example home Saturday from way down in Tennessee. I guess she knows now that I was dead serious. I bet she does.
Yep.
So low static dropper bags. I'm interested to hear y'all's opinion on this.
Blue truck, absolute static.
Yeah.
Pecos, I'd like to be on a Rev B chassis.
Yeah. Bagged out.
Just bagged out. I mean, just laid out.
So circumstances.
Circumstances for
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've never had a bag truck. So I go back and forth between like a bag, like bagging the red and white C10 or just full on coilovers, which I've talked about forever, which is probably what I would do if I had that kind of coin to drop.
Yep.
If I could get the whole truck an inch lower on coilovers, that's my dream.
Oh man,
setup.
that'd be killer. Swallowing those 22s up. God,
Yeah.
that'd look good. I would say low static. I've had bag stuff. Teddy's bagged. Currently, I'm having issues with it. First time in 25, 30,000 miles, but having some issues with it. Stopped me from going on a trip recently. which is irritating. And I'm with you, Rick. I like and Ron. I like things that are like deep static. You open the door, you get in, you don't adjust nothing, you just go, and it's just all hard parts and it works. You know,
I think like with the Suburban, the plan is to do the Tinworks bag kit on the back for the helper bags, and then I'd like to do a coilover setup on the front of that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just
do a mix of both.
Because the plan is to roll that thing, man, like we do. So
yeah,
and it's gonna hopefully have a bunch of merch in the back of it.
Yeah, so having some adjustability.
Yeah,
that's the best thing about. I mean, you can adjust coilovers, but it's really nice when you get into a bagged vehicle and just go pss, pss, and you put a little more pressure in the bags and you're set. So I'm still going to say low static drop. I don't know. There's just something about, for as much as we drive, that's probably where we need to be, or where I want to be.
It's proven.
Yeah, it is proven. Last question. LP Cheyenne over on, I think this is Instagram. When are more videos on your OBS coming? They're coming Q3, probably into Q4. We've got some plans on that. Teddy, just to let you guys know, is going to get a full rebuild first. I know we just did some stuff to it, but we're actually really going to rebuild this truck.
Does that mean you're going to fix some rust?
That means we're probably going to fix some rust and probably put some AC in something.
The rust will be fixed before the AC.
Next question. Yeah, that's true. When can we see more on TTR's project truck?
Whenever you come to the house and,
and film it. Yeah, and do some wrenching. So the answer to that is soon. When are you going to be done with your buddy's truck?
So the plan is
the current truck you got in there.
So the plan is to prime it, have everything set for C10s in the city. After we get back from that, we'll blow it apart. So his bed is painted. His chassis he's working on his chassis. We painted his bed stuff last year. He'll get it back after. Well, it'll go to paint. We're going to paint it at work, but it's going to go to paint after C10's in the city.
So it'll leave your shop soon, and you'll be able to get your truck in there.
He should get it back the week after C10's in the city.
So right on. So the opportunity to film on Ron's truck is going to be coming in the next month or so. So we'll get some stuff going on that.
I have a ton of stuff in that. So I mean, there's definitely plenty to film.
Sweet. And you've been filming and taking pictures of it the whole process anyway, so we'll be able to layer some stuff in on that. And then his last question, he had a triple part question. What year Chevy truck generation would be the newest you would buy? I mean, I own a 2020, and that's my daily for the most part, tow truck. I love it. I really like them all. If we're trying to, stay sort of in that classic realm, I would say that an NBS is probably where the newest I'd want to buy to like really modify and make something cool out of. I love 9906 stuff. My son drives a 2000 Indigo Blue Metallic, all stock truck, and I love it. But boy, I'd love to get my hands on it and, put a turbo. It's a 4.8 truck, so put a turbo on it. It'd be 4-point great. It'd be so fun. What about you, Ron?
Well,
you said MBS, so would you go newer?
No.
Yeah.
No, they're junk. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I think 07, late 07 and up. I mean, they had a lot of dash issues, everything cracked.
Had a lot of trans issues too, I think.
Yeah, and then after that, when they went to like 8 speeds and all that, they're having a lot of trans issues and all that stuff.
I know Rick just drove over here in one of them.
I don't know.
We're always going to be trashing somebody's truck in this when we answer these questions.
MBS would be it for me, man.
Yeah.
I think that's like probably the newest that I want. And the thing is too is I guess I'm just an old soul, man. I don't like when chimes like beep at me when I don't buckle up.
Yeah.
So
fair.
I'm like,
you are a rule breaker.
That's what I like. Look at this. I'm like, so when does it start beeping at me? Okay, well, I want to buy the year before that.
That's true. I love it. What about you, Rick?
I mean, I love my I have an 07.
Yeah.
I love that truck.
In NBS?
In NBS, yeah, whatever. I don't know. That's a weird thing that they did, but
I know it.
Whoever started that. But I mean, it's only got 120,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
It's
a good looking truck.
18 years old.
Yeah.
The GMCs. I didn't like the Chevy, that bumper on the Chevys. The GMC is the one I like the best.
You've been hitting that truck a couple times, but have you had any mechanical issues out of it? Any real mechanical issues?
No, it's sat.
It's only got 120,000 miles.
Yeah, he had enough time.
It sat for a year and a half at one point, and all I did was drive all the other stuff, the square bodies, and I had a rodent issue with the
electrical stuff.
Yeah, in the back by the fuel tank. So, but other than that, no, man, it's been pretty solid.
That's sweet.
Really solid.
Well, we are running out of time.
Yeah, and
that was the last question, and I'm stoked y'all came. This was fun.
I
think we went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean. We always gonna go off the rails. Ron's in here.
I'll skip the next one.
No. Well,
and I didn't even drink.
I know, man. You did good. You over here sipping water. This has been fun. I hope everybody enjoyed this at home, and you tune in for the next UBT's Action Line Off the Rails podcast episode. We'll catch you next month, and appreciate you guys coming down.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.